Welcome into TalkFCB and welcome back here to the channel, guys. And in today's video, it is going to be once again taking a closer look at our brand new signing. It's Antoine Griezmann. He is finally here. He is a Barcelona player, and today he came out speaking on the Barcelona official website. He said, "I will defend the Barca shirt with all of my commitment." He was so happy, really, to be given a second opportunity here. Turned us down last season, but now he's here. And believe me, he is going to be out to prove a serious point. He is going to be out here to prove people wrong and to basically get the fans on side. He said the time has come to accept a new challenge here in the colours of Barcelona. At last, our roads come together. My father taught me as a child that trains do not only pass once. He feels like now this is his opportunity. This is his chance. And in today's video, we are going to be looking at exactly where Antoine Griezmann fits. What is he going to bring? Where is he going to slot in? And most importantly, how I feel Griezmann, right here and now, can be our replacement for Luis Suárez. All of that and some more. It's coming up today. Let's get into it. Because I want to start off by saying, guys, that I've absolutely loved Luis Suárez's time in a Barcelona shirt. As a Barcelona number 9, he has been so perfect now for many years in that role, the way that he plays, his combination with Lionel Messi, his friendship, of course, with Lionel Messi as well, has been a big part of his time here. And he really is a fantastic person and a character that we've had at our club. But right now, it feels like now is the changing of the guard. Now is the time for somebody new to step into that role to ultimately become our new number 9. Now, Griezmann may or may not be wearing the number 7 shirt next season. We don't know that yet. What we do know is that he's been brought in to replace Luis Suárez. It's as simple as that. Suárez right now, 32 years old. He's going to be 33 come January. And Griezmann, he is at the peak of his powers. He's coming in, a 28-year-old. He's massively experienced. He's been waiting for this opportunity. There's 4 years there between these two players. And right now, it's Griezmann's chance. It's Griezmann's chance to come in, make an impact. And for me right now, when you look at the two head-to-head, as we're going to, Griezmann is certainly the man to put our faith in. Because first and foremost, before we go on to some teams later on and some shapes and how Griezmann is going to fit at Barcelona, I want to go over some stats with Suárez and also with Griezmann as a comparison. Because if you look at them last season, in terms of their goals, their numbers, their assists in La Liga, and also the Champions League, quite clearly here, Suárez had a pretty productive season in front of goal in La Liga. In terms of La Liga goals, Griezmann had 15, Suárez had 21. La Liga assists, Griezmann there coming out on top with 9 and then 6. But like I said before, Griezmann is playing in a team there that is much more defensive than Barcelona. And under Valverde, that is saying something there with Simeone and Atlético Madrid. But in the Champions League, Griezmann, even though Atlético Madrid got knocked out before we did, he was more productive. 4 goals to Suárez's 1 in the Champions League. That's not enough there. That has not been enough now for several seasons for Suárez in the Champions League. And in terms of assists, Suárez did come out on top, 2 to 6 there. So ultimately, both players there with good numbers. Griezmann, I feel, will go on to even greater lengths, even higher numbers there in a Barcelona shirt. We create more chances, we score more goals. Certainly there, Griezmann will get higher numbers, but it's not all about that for me. It's not all about the goals, the assists, because for a Barcelona forward, it's been about more than that. It's more than just putting the ball in the back of the net. You've got to do more. You've got to provide more there for your team and for your teammates. And to be honest, that's the thing I've always loved about Suárez. With Suárez, for me, it shouldn't be about goals. We shouldn't have to rely on goal statistics there to talk about Suárez, because he's been a player who I've fallen in love with in terms of his style of play over the years. He was somebody who his overall game was phenomenal in terms of passing, in terms of creativity, bringing the ball, holding the ball, his touch, his dribbling. He was phenomenal. All-round striker. On his day, he was sensational. But for me, that has started there. The overall game of Suárez has started to decline. And to be honest, I think he accepts it. Last season he said, "I fully understand why Barcelona would want to go and bring in a new number 9. I am getting on." He realises he is getting old. And for me, when you look at Griezmann, as we're going to now, in the comparison, in terms of their overall game, he is the man who can step in, give us that impact, and if he can give us an ounce of the impact that Suárez has in a Barcelona shirt, we will have here one heck of a player on our hands. Because I think there, when you're comparing the two players, Suárez and Griezmann, as they were last season in the big competitions, the one thing you want to look at really is that close control, how they look after the ball, how often they give it away. And that's what we're going to do right here, because these are the stats here, basically says how many times per game each player is dispossessed and how many bad touches each player per game has on average. So basically, how often they give it away away, and also how often they give it away via a bad touch. We're going to be assessing here their La Liga and Champions League displays. And straight away here, when you look at those stats, you can straight away notice a pattern, because you can see both in La Liga and in the Champions League there, Antoine Griezmann does appear on the face of it there from the stats to be the more controlled player on the ball. He's definitely dispossessed less times there in both competitions. He is more careful when in possession. And again, you look at it, it's exactly the same situation when you're looking there at the bad touches stat, because Griezmann, once again superior in both competitions, clearly averaging less bad touches per game than Luis Suárez there in those two, and especially when it comes down to there the Champions League. In the high-pressured moments, in the big games, Griezmann giving the ball away via bad touches considerably less, which I think there is a really important thing to focus on, because for me, it's about Suárez's first touch. That's the biggest letdown right now, and has been the biggest issue for us now for some time in that forward department, because I feel that's one of the areas really of Suárez that has declined most in recent times, and it can be massively frustrating, because yes, Suárez certainly can still pop up with some heroic moments, he can still score some phenomenal goals, but in general, that first touch there, bringing down the ball, holding it, trapping it, then playing it on, and really holding it up there, and bringing others into the game, it hasn't really happened. His first touch at times can be erratic, it can be poor, it can be heavy, he can be giving the ball away, and that'll see us there lose momentum, lose the ball, it'll stop counter-attacks, it'll stop really good moments there going forward, and Suárez did break down so many things last season when it came to that final third. So for me, Griezmann coming in here, sharper on the ball, looking better there when the ball comes into him, certainly better and more careful in the final third, that right now is exactly what we're crying out for, with the quality that you do have around you at Barcelona. And for me, when you're talking about Antoine Griezmann, there's two very specific instances that I would pinpoint that really does excite me when you're talking about him there in the centre forward role, or being part of that front three, because I sort of highlighted him here in green. You can clearly see there Griezmann is going to be the central striker. If he's not, he may play off from the left hand side. We're going to be coming on to that in just a moment, but I just want to talk here about two different scenarios where I feel Griezmann will be a particular upgrade and will help us in many different situations. And the first situation is all about a high press. We saw it against Liverpool and we saw it against Man United. Basically, teams coming at us in the Champions League and pressing very high, and basically they're penning us in. We couldn't get out, and the reason that we couldn't get out and actually exploit all of that space there was simply the fact that we didn't have the players to do it. Yes, at times you've got Ousmane Dembélé maybe on the left hand side, he could come in and maybe bring some pace there into the final third, but the problem with Dembélé is he's a winger. He's not always going to be on the last man, and at times we've had Suárez here in this position who's maybe looked to get into that space, maybe looked to get into that room, but he doesn't have the pace anymore. Exactly the same really for Messi, and often Messi can be very deep as well and not really able to get into that room. Griezmann, very different. Teams like Liverpool, teams like Manchester United, they won't be able to be this high because Griezmann will be on the last man. If he's playing there as an out-and-out centre forward, he'll be on the shoulder there, just waiting for that chance, because he's more mobile, he's more flexible, he's certainly got a lot more speed, a lot of acceleration in behind, and that will stop teams doing that, because that for us was a massive issue last season, particularly when you think of the second leg there against Liverpool in the Champions League. Even to be honest, in that first leg, they were really high, and we couldn't get out, and we can't find a way to get out. Now we have the threat of Griezmann, you add in Dembélé, you add in other players there with pace as well, and it starts to be that teams cannot do this. They're going to have to drop off. They're going to have to drop off there into that space because they can't run the risk. You can't have an Antoine Griezmann running in behind really in a one-on-one situation, so you've got to drop off. And then of course you can bring others into play, you can then get your foot on the ball, you can start to control things, and then you can really make your opposition take a step back and basically give you the ball, give you the right of way. But then of course, once your opposition drop off, once they are then in a much deeper position, you then have an entirely different problem. And can Griezmann actually open up defences there when they're deep? Because obviously then with the space, he's got the pace to do it. But when they're deep like this, when all of that space there is occupied by several defenders, does he have the quality and the technical ability to get around that for me? And that is also where I feel Griezmann will be an upgrade. Because just like we just said there with those stats, he is a player who is definitely better on the ball right now than Suárez is. Suárez has been brilliant in this kind of role for many years, but as of right now, Griezmann for me can come in that kind of role and actually play really well there, bringing the others into play. Because like I keep saying, a Barcelona forward has to do more than just goals. It has to be about more than just goals there in this kind of role, because he's expected there to occupy these two defenders. In a deep block there, we've got enough on our plate, we've got enough defenders there back to try and stop us from scoring. You need your striker to really occupy those two centre-backs and actually find a way around them. If the ball there is played into Griezmann, he needs to bring Messi into the game, he needs to bring the left winger into the game, and possibly even play as advanced advancing from midfield. And Griezmann, for me, does have the technical ability. Once teams drop off, once they are defending there in a deep block, he can find a way around that. He can drop in, he's flexible, he's not somebody who's going to be rigid and stay in that centre-forward role. If he needs to come deeper, he can do that. He's done that earlier on in his career as well. He knows how to play that kind of role. And that's what I mean here. We've signed somebody with a lot of speed, a lot of pace, a lot of flexibility there in the forward area, but also he's not stupid. He's got good technical ability. He's good at creating. We've seen that there in his numbers in terms of assists. I believe Griezmann, in any kind of situation, whether it be a high line, getting in behind, or whether it be here, a deeper kind of situation, he has the tools and the ability to really make it work as a Barcelona centre forward. But of course, the question that we're all thinking right now is what exactly is going to be that front three? What is going to be our forward combinations going into next season? Because I've got a feeling right now that although Suárez is certainly declining, he's getting on in his career, and there's no shame in saying that, I don't believe right now at the start of the season we're going to see Suárez just drop to the bench. I don't think it's going to happen like that. I don't see it playing out in that way, and I actually think that we could end up starting the season with Luis Suárez still, for the time being, leading the line as the out-and-out centre forward here in that number 9 role, with Griezmann from the left and Messi from the right, which for me wouldn't be the right decision. For me, it has to be Griezmann or it has to be Suárez. You can't really play them both. They're there to be centre forwards. They're not really there to push Griezmann out on the left-hand side, because obviously he's okay to start here, but I would say only in that position should Messi be the false 9. Then Griezmann can start from the left, because you know that Messi's not going to stay there. He's going to drop in, he's going to go out wide, he's going to play in a freer role. There will be space then for Griezmann to go into that forward role. But if Suárez is there, he's going to stay in that role. He's not going to be so flexible, and Griezmann there is going to have nowhere to go from that left wing position. So for me, we shouldn't really be starting there with Griezmann and Suárez, but I just got a feeling maybe we might see that to start the season. But as it goes on for me, I think certainly we should see a number of different variations. We could see there Messi in the false 9 role, Dembélé from the right, a lot of speed there, and also Griezmann from the left hand side. But like I say, he could make his way into the centre forward position. And also you have to consider who's going to be in this midfield role here. Is it somebody there who, if Griezmann does float inside, you could then go out wide and actually there be more advanced from that midfield role? So Griezmann starting on the left hand side is okay. It's not too bad, but as long as he has space there to move into, as long as that space there is being vacated by another player in the right kind of role. Certainly Suárez, I feel, is going to occupy that space, and Griezmann and Suárez in the same team there. Of course it'll provide goals, of course it'll provide quality, but in the big moments, is that really the setup that you want to use? There's also the option of swapping those three around and actually playing their Griezmann as the out-and-out number 9 as the centre forward, Messi starting from the right, but perhaps he would go inside. But again, then you'd need somebody in midfield, or at least at right back, who would get forward there into that space that Messi vacates there on the right hand side. And of course Dembélé is very much able to play on either the left or the right, and I think he could be a threat there from both of those roles, no doubt about it. But of course, the elephant in the room right now, guys, Neymar Jr. Certainly he's still on our radar. Even though we signed Griezmann, Neymar is still a possibility this summer, and the question is, how exactly do you fit Neymar and Griezmann and the rest of our stars into the same team? Well, to do that for me, you'd need an extremely brave coach. That is certainly very questionable right from the word go. I think you'd also have to sacrifice one of these midfielders. You'd have to play there with 2 in midfield, 2 holding, whoever those may be, whoever you choose those 2 players to be. And then, of course, you'd have Messi in the number 10 role. You'd have Griezmann there as the out-and-out striker, Dembélé across, and Neymar Jr. then from the left-hand side. And that there is an unbelievable front 4. That is mesmerising. That is absolutely sensational. But like I say, you would need some bravery to play in that kind of team, and you would have to have a system there behind them that really complement those players. You'd need the 2 midfielders to be very defensively solid. You'd need them there as well to be pretty well withdrawn. You're going to leave those attacking forward to get on with their jobs, and also the fullbacks, they've got to pick their moments. They can't be bombing forward and leaving there the rest of the team exposed, because those front 4 there, they're not exactly going to be players that are tracking back at every opportunity, especially with Neymar there. Griezmann can certainly work hard, he's done that at Atlético, but Messi and Dembélé maybe won't do all that much work either. So certainly those 4 would need a lot of working. They would need to work something out behind them, a suitable system to actually fit them all into. But certainly there are so many questions. I feel that Malcolm is probably going to be leaving this summer, that's why I've not really included him. And of course Suárez, I feel, certainly he's going to play his part. Certainly he's still going to remain an important part of the team, but I just don't think this season he should be an undisputed starter. That's a big thing for me, because Suárez, I massively respect him, I massively enjoy him, I love him as a player, and I have done now for many years. But like I said at the start of the video, for me, now is the time for the changing of the guard. We've seen so much of Suárez, so much good, but now it's time for someone new. Now it's time for Antoine Griezmann to make your name. So that there, guys, is how I see Antoine Griezmann fitting into the plans at Barcelona, how we could possibly fit him in. There are many, many different variations, many different systems that could accommodate Griezmann, and certainly it is going to be fun this season watching it all play out. And please, guys, I know Valverde's still there, but maybe, just maybe, we could see a miracle happen. Maybe we could see Valverde fit him into the team, and it would all be right. At least we're going to go into the season with that kind of positivity, and we'll see how long that lasts. But right now, Griezmann is a Barcelona player. Griezmann will be in this team. Where? We're going to have to wait and see. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. Where do you think he fits in? What do you think his qualities are? What do you think he's going to bring to this Barcelona side? Thank you as always for watching, and thank you for your support. I will see you soon with more videos. But until next time, as always, Visca el Barça.